When I was growing up in Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada, my heroes were sports figures like George Reed and Ron Lancaster of the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They don't make trading cards for architects, but I wish they did. I've always loved buildings, going back to kindergarten. With its clean, modern lines, this wasn't my parents' school. This was the future. Of particular fascination was the gymnasium with its incredible peaked roof. From the outside, it looked like somewhere Batman would live, or perhaps the headquarters for the Apollo space program. Outside of school was full of adventure too. When my mom had banking to do, I would ride along as we used the convenient drive-through bank in the Sask Power Building. One time, we went to Moose Jaw for a hockey tournament, and I won a trophy. See? I loved growing up in Saskatchewan. We had so many great buildings. It wasn't until I was 40 years old that I realized the one thing all my favorite buildings had in common. Meet Joseph Pettick, the man who built my childhood.
I did that in 1959. That was the year that Frank Lloyd Wright died. He was the main reason that I got into architecture.
The Moose Jaw Civic Centre has hosted thousands of events, mostly hockey.
At the opening, we had Louis Armstrong Satchmo as the entertainment. Tommy Douglas, of course, officiated.
There is no doubt in my mind that on that opening night in 1959, Moose Jaw was the hippest, the coolest, the most modern place on Earth. The envy of the world, if only the world knew.
The Saskatchewan Power Corporation presents its head office story.
Mr. Pettick has acquired an outstanding reputation as an imaginative and definitive architect.
Mr. Pettick, are you satisfied with the building?
I don't think that any designer is ever entirely satisfied, but the building has turned out to be a very functional unit.
Was the curvature of the building limited to any extent the placement of desks or cut down on the utilization of space?
No, not to any extent.
The observation deck on the 13th floor will provide you with many views of Regina. The deck will be open both winter and summer to accommodate photographic enthusiasts.
This was a breakthrough as far as we were concerned to have a large sculptural statement built in the heart of the city of Regina. We wanted something dynamic and unique. One of the innovations we had was a translucent luminous ceiling, which I called Prairie Ice, based on a form that I produced in our kitchen oven at home. Our client insisted that it be 360-degree architecture, pleasing from all angles. So his influence gave us the latitude to do little more than build an ordinary building. Well, there are certain basics in any gymnasium design, and we also wanted to get some element of delight into the design.
I'd lived my life in Joseph Pettick's buildings. They don't make trading cards for buildings, but perhaps someday, a kid in a playground in Moose Jaw will trade a Frank Gehry in order to complete his collection of Joseph Pettick's 500 Saskatchewan buildings. I know I would.